Oo. Wala ko din sila.
Facts regarding water shortage, despite the abundance, quality of service does not match the economic pricing of water concessionaires.
Ayun ang number one na problema namin ngayon. Paano kami makahugas ng yung sinusunod natin na hugas kamay para makaiwas tayo sa inko. Wala nga tubig po.
Sorry lang, there is no penalty to this notice of violation.
Sa mga nakaupo, subukan nyo naman pong tumayo para makita nyo naman ang aming kalagayan.
This is the reality of inaccessibility. Marginalized people are the most affected.
Residents lined up all day to get water from fire trucks. The sick suffered the most.
As far as yung effect of this shortage to our patient, we announced that we will be limiting patients.
The crisis was the result of the failure of government as well as the private sector to expand Luzon's water resource infrastructure. No water sources have been built recently, while the population of Metro Manila has ballooned to 12 million residents. While utility company Manila Water is part of the problem, the government-run Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System, or MWSS, is the orchestra conductor that wields the baton. One of its officials admitted it is ultimately to blame because it is the responsibility of government to source all this water.
Water is essentially needed for everyday life, so the demand for water is relatively high. With such high necessity for water, you must start to utilize the abundance of water on Earth, and at the same time, work to maintain its use. The Philippines is surrounded by large bodies of water and is abundant in surface water resources. However, the population of the Philippines continues to rapidly grow over the years and sustained unregulated urban expansion and insufficient wastewater management. So as a result, it puts surface water resources under heavy pressure. Other arising problems from water privatization are the rocketing price of water, class biasness and inequality, excessive profit taking, and inadequate and unreliable water supplies.
Hi, it's Klair. Today I'm going to share some of my thoughts. We know that the Philippines is abundant with natural resources, but only through organized utilization and effective regulation we can benefit from what we have. On the other hand, it is also a reality that the majority of us does not have complete access, when in fact everybody deserves to live without prejudice. We are all entitled to fundamental rights. That is why, as a society, we shall be aiming to function and benefit mutually.
Good afternoon. As the head of My Water Incorporated, I am here to address the issues regarding water accessibility and pricing, and to also share with you the company's plans and efforts in order to provide better service and to further our reach. And as much as we want to provide service to everyone, it must still be taken into account that we cannot provide service without income, as we need enough budget to supply continuously and to filter or sanitize the water for safe use. But be rest assured that we are constantly monitoring the water usage in order to bill fairly. And in terms of providing service to those who experience water shortage or any other type of water crisis, The company is and will continue to coordinate with the government, other companies, and the citizens in order to provide everyone access to clean water. Moreover, in order to further assist the citizens, we will develop new pricing schemes that will regulate and help reduce the price of water and sanitation services to balance the consumer's capacity and willingness to pay, as well as to avoid overpricing. We would also only entertain possible partnerships with other water service providers who are competent and can provide efficient and quality water service for all. We, the members of the company, truly hope that all of us can work together in addressing and solving this problem and to work towards water sustainability.
Hello, I'm Rochelle Ong. I am a citizen of the Philippines, and I am part of the community that experiences water shortage and water crisis in the area. Especially during this pandemic, it has become a struggle for us to have access to clean water. There are days where we don't have water or that water is minimal. And I believe that water is an important thing, especially for children. As a citizen, it is our duty to learn on how we can preserve water. Even now that water is limited, we really need to value the small amount of water that we receive. There are many ways where we can lessen the amount of water that we use. An example would be watering our plants with rainwater or substituting fresh water with rainwater whenever we're cleaning our houses. There are times that I would also use my laundry water to clean up my lawn. Through this way, our water consumption isn't doubled. We should also be knowledgeable about the possible consequences of our action, positive or negative. Through this way, we could avoid the worst scenario possible. And as much as possible, we should adapt to the changes of our environment. If our current lifestyle brings negative impact, then we should learn on how we could change it. Moreover, we'll need to fix the system of those privately owned water companies because compared to governmentally owned water establishment, the water is much expensive due to privatization. Therefore, there is a need for government to monitor the water pricing of those companies to see whether prices are reasonable or affordable. So that is what we go through every day as a citizen, and I hope that the government could take action on those kinds of problems.
Good day to everyone. My name is Senator Bianca Ong. As we all know, the administration is doing its best in the management and governance of water resources all over the country. Enhanced planning and decision-making measures must definitely be applied before taking further actions. Thus, we are currently reviewing laws and policies on sustenance of water and its impact on social, environmental, and economic matters here in the Philippines. Implementing efficient water governance includes, but are not limited to, responsive policy and institutional arrangements, pertinent plans, and effective implementation to address the water crisis in the country. We firmly believe that the national and local government must be fully accountable and directly involved in this matter. Locally, we are in close coordination with the local government unit of each city and district to ensure that all citizens have access to clean and sufficient water supply and to comply with water management policies. We will continue to work with NGOs and schools to instill awareness and educate others on water conservation practices through the integration of programs and campaigns in schools of each city, provinces, especially in remote areas. Moreover, we are planning to implement different forms of water governance which are suited to the country's setting through the help of private sectors and water service corporations such as the May Water Incorporated. Lastly, to ensure sustainable production and consumption of water, we have modified sanctions for large corporations and enterprises which will violate water management laws and policies implemented. For example, violators will discharge untreated wastewater into any water body will be fined for at least 20,000 to 300,000 per day of violation. Failure to clean up willfully have an additional charge of 60,000 and may face imprisonment, depending on the gravity of action committed. Again, these are only the initial and brief background of the government's plan in addressing the water crisis in our country. We will keep you updated as soon as possible.
Good afternoon, everyone. Miss Bianca Ong, Miss Misha Ong, Miss Rochelle Ong, and everyone watching. I am Soleil Pabuna, a student representative of the University of Santo Tomas Youth Organization. As part of our environmental project, our organization conducted a study about water resources and proper water utility and its effect to the economic pricing of water. Through our research, we found that the average Filipino uses about 150 to 200 liters per capita per day. However, research says that on average, a person only needs 54 liters of water per day. That would mean that the Filipinos use 3 times the advised amount for everyday use. This would explain the water crisis that the Philippines is currently facing. Thus, in order to contribute to the solution of this crisis, we as members of the youth shall encourage cooperation from our fellow students in properly conserving water. Moreover, we will cooperate with the university administration in researching about other ways to lessen water consumption. Finally, we will actively advocate and educate the student body about the reality of the crisis that we currently face in order to initiate effort from everyone. That would be all. Thank you.